What's up, guys? Welcome to the last episode of 2019 for the Newstrength Way Podcast. Today we've got nearly the whole team. Nick's out of here for the moment, but we've got Nathan and Annaliese joining us to talk about and give a wrap up of what we think is probably the top 5 stories of 2019 for Newstrength, or at least some notable ones. So, guys, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me back on, Jacob.
Yep.
Much appreciated.
Guest host / now just probably a guest.
Yeah. Let's just say guest.
Guest. Bev's guest host or special host every now and then.
Yes.
So we're going to start off with probably our first thing that we're going to mention is obviously the renovations of upstairs, giving us extra space in the gym, which was pretty cool little change up. We got to the point where we were pretty packed out, pretty busy on the ground floor when we had the group classes going and semi-privates, and then moving into having that sort of space upstairs, I think, has been a big thing for the overall feel of, one, the space in the gym, but then also changing the game a little bit in what we've been able to run in classes and sessions. So, guys, what's your take on all that?
All things upstairs.
All things upstairs. Where did that come from? Where was the initial idea?
It was way too busy downstairs, and we always wanted to get more bikes, skis, and rows, and we just needed the room to facilitate that. So then, knocking down a wall and putting that stuff up and opening it up is really good.
Yeah.
No, I don't actually. I think it was more on a need-to basis, solving problems.
Yeah. And Bev, that's kind of your space up there with you running most of the groups of most of the guys I see that you send up there, and they come back down looking a little bit dejected at times and soulless.
Yes, I've heard it called many things at the moment. I've heard the hot box a few times, but there's a fan up there now, so that's good. But yeah, it's opened it up heaps for the groups. It's made a big difference. While they don't love going up and down the stairs, it's just extra cardio. They'll be right.
Yeah. The 15, 20 cals that you're doing up there isn't anything comparatively to it's way worse than what the actual stair walking is.
The stairs are a bit of a break.
Yeah, I do think so. I think it's a pretty strategic break. Slowly falling your way down the stairs gives you a bit more time before you jump into the next one. So
I think we should make both of you do 50 cals as fast as possible, then walk down the stairs.
What do you mean both of us? How are you not involved in this?
I didn't make a comment on that being okay.
All right. Second up, next thing was the introduction of the 250 and the 150 club for our deadlifts on the fridge, the really, really beaten up old fridge. So we just started drawing on it instead.
There's so much character now.
Yeah. It's got a lot of things going on there. It's got what even is that? Back squat, bar path, little stick figure.
That's mine. Yep, that's my drawing. Yeah, bar path and the back squat is on there. 250 club, 155 and 200 and 100. There's so many names on there now.
It's grown heaps.
Yeah, and that's been a pretty huge thing. I think that particularly in the girls' side of stuff, to have so many girls, we had to start a second row because we ran out of fridge space on the first row to have achieved that milestone of hitting a 100 kilo deadlift. I think it's been pretty awesome and pretty special. And particularly that a lot of the girls that are on that list, and even the guys on the list too, walk in the doors with not actually thinking that's possible for them. They're like, oh, I'll never get onto that one. And then a few months later down the road, they're like, I reckon I can get on there next time. Burgers, beers and deadlifts, we're on.
35 girls on there.
35. But that's pretty epic. That's pretty awesome. And that's only the start too. We're going to need a bigger fridge.
I think we could just get it as that board up on the next one up there. We can just get the ladder out and make the big deal and we have to put someone on there.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And then obviously the 250 club and the 150 club was started by Byron and Grace, who we have jokingly said that if they get to 300 and 200 respectively, that they'll get a mural in the gym. We're not allowed to actually paint on the walls here, so that might be a bit of a concern if they get there. Hopefully they don't get too strong too quickly.
Well, I mean, Grace is not going to be far off.
Yeah, she's closing the gap. She'll we're about to hit Burgers, Beers and Deadlifts tonight. This will come out next week, but probably by this time she'll have closed the gap on 160. She hit 170 in the strongman comp that we'll talk about a little bit later, and on the trap bar a little earlier this year, which was huge for a girl that only weighs 62 kilos.
Yeah.
very incredibly strong. Like Grace is probably going to get a few reps here over the course of this with the stories that we have on. But yeah, that's been pretty special to see how far so many of the guys have come along and grown, both in terms of strength, and then outside of that is like just in people and the growth that we've had of the community and the tribe here has been pretty awesome in the past 12 months. So moving on from there, on the idea of deadlifts, and our burgers, beers and deadlifts nights have become probably a good word to describe them as prolific. Like, it's well known around now. A lot of people we've spoken about it, I think, in one of the other episodes, that other gyms are stealing the concept and copying it now.
Trying.
Copyright.
Keyword is trying. trying to steal the concept and falling short. But no, it's kind of humbling too, really. Like, I don't mind if they give it a crack, if it brings more people doing the same things, then that's great. But yeah, I don't think it's the same thing.
Yeah, for sure. But that's the burger season deadlift nights. I think, and part of this was bringing in a lot of the guys' ideas to it of what they wanted to see from the night. So, like, obviously the staples have always been there, and then getting from there to having, I think last time somebody suggested, was like, we should make it a costume party. That'd be fun. And I'm like, all right, screw it, let's try it out. So we had guys turning up. We had Hank came along, painted himself green to look like the Hulk. Like, we had some great costumes last time, which was really, really cool. And tonight, or like last week when this gets released, is the Christmas themed, and a lot of the guys have been looking forward to it and pumping up can't wait to see what like everyone's costume is, or telling us that they've got the best costume. We are giving out cash prize for the best costume as well, so everyone will get to see who actually scores that one.
I'll be very surprised if anyone beats Lucy. Very surprised.
Oh, I'm excited now.
Yeah.
Have you not seen it?
No.
I won't tell you that. I'll let the suspense build.
Yeah, so there's hopefully going to be a couple of things to come from tonight's one. We also have the release of Burgers, Beers and Deadlifts tees now. Mm-hmm. So big shout out to Johan at Favour the Brave that came on board for us and helped out with a lot of the design concept stuff, and really helping us develop the Burgers, Beers and Deadlifts into its own brand, where it's not only it's a part of what we do at the gym, but it's started to expand outside of that. And I think this will be the most people from outside of the gym joining us tonight from what we know of at the moment. And that's super exciting that we're starting to, I guess, spread the word of having a little bit more of a flexible lifestyle to training and strength, and it's not all just about being super serious with it all. Is there anything else on Burgers, Beers and Deadlifts besides, Bev, you want to lay down the platform and tell everyone what you're going to hit tonight?
I'm going to hit 150. Yes.
Confidence. Say it.
I will hit 150.
You'll get it.
This was my goal, like, at the start of the year, was like, get 150 by the end of the year. And someone was like, I don't know about that. And I was like, you know what? I will. And if I don't, I'll be like,
You have no choice now. Really.
Yeah.
Okay, you have a key. You can stay here as long as you like.
You'll come back tomorrow morning. I'll still be going.
Yeah, Christmas Day, Bev will be in here still just deadlifting, just trying to get that last one. Cool. And any predictions for tonight, mate? Besides Lucy's outfit will be the best. Is
it always just exceeds my expectations. Hey, I think it's going to be probably the busiest, I'd say, this time, just from how many people have said they're attending. So, who knows? I think a lot of people will go up on the fridge in terms of the 100 club for the girls and 200 for the boys. I think there'll be a few people. I'm really looking forward to seeing Duncan get 200.
Yeah.
That's exciting. He's been working hard for that. And then I think more so instead of the numbers, like, obviously it's really cool, but just seeing people exceed their expectations and just having everyone under the one roof.
Tonight?
I might have a celebrity deadlift potentially. It depends. It depends on what time's dinner with with wife and her bosses. But I'll jump in. I'll have a burger and I'll have a beer or two. I think she's going to pick me up, so I might have more than 2 beers.
Oh, you're all set then.
I am, and then we've got a sitter for Maisie, which is exciting. So yes, I'll deadlift, but I don't know how much.
What's the weight prediction? 200.
I'd probably be able to hit 200. Depends how it feels.
Yeah.
I should be able to hit 200.
Sweet. Cool. Moving on from there, guys. The next thing that was a big story of 2019 is the growth of strongman from within the community and within going from, I think at the start of the year it was just me that was doing it solo by myself, and
Sure was.
back end of the year we've had nearly 20 or 30 guys compete between our comp and then the multiple comps around that have been around. We hosted what was, in my opinion, one of the funnest strongman comps around. Like, I was a little bit dirty that I couldn't compete in it actually because it looked like lots of fun. But it was a pretty epic day, and we had nearly 40 competitors go through. It ran pretty smooth. It was lots of fun. A little bit of a change up to the style of the events, and a lot of head-to-head action, which is really, really hard to get in strongman because it's often the equipment is the big limiter and not having access to enough of that. And then off the back end of that, we've had now Annaliese, we spoke about on the other week on the podcast, is qualified for the Arnold's next year, which is the biggest comp of the year in Australia. Grace done the same thing, and Sambo is qualified for New South Wales Strongest Man next year. So we've had quite a hell of a growth in a sport that's not really our only thing, or it's not at all our only thing. It's kind of the little side avenue that we've played around with.
Yeah, I think it's credit to the way all of us try and, pursue training and the qualities that we try and teach and pursue in that. Like, I think it shows how applicable it is to multiple different avenues. And obviously strongman is somewhat everything to an extent.
Strength, athleticism, being able to apply that in a bunch of different ways that aren't necessarily a traditional barbell.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like, I guess it's as real, for lack of a better term, it's like as real life as you can get.
Yeah.
Like outside of specificity of a barbell. So with strongman, it's very much implement. You probably should want to lift at home, like move things around the yard or whatever it is. And we're always big on, yes, getting better with barbell is great, but also like what can you do outside of the gym as well, and what does it give you? And I think it's just credit to that. And there's a sport that I guess rewards that, and we've found that, and a lot of people are doing really well. I think that's why the transition was quite smooth for a few people.
Yeah. So what's maybe some of your biggest highlights from within seeing that growth within the community and within our gym over the last 12 months with that, Nate?
It would definitely, the one that exceeds everything else would be people achieving things that they just didn't think were possible. That's always so cool. Like, I personally think that's the coolest thing about what we do is people just exceeding their own expectations and seeing that actually come to life and become a thing. So it's hard to see past that, really.
Yeah.
That really takes the cake, so to say, with me, and also how much it brings everyone else up. Like, everyone's really encouraging and supporting. So when Bev made it to Arnold's, or when Grace does something, or whatever it is, or you're doing something and bringing trophies back, I think it kind of lights the fire underneath the other members as well, and helps them achieve more than they think as well.
Yeah.
I think that would be it.
I think that's been a cool thing. Like, shout out to Jen and Byron that were the first ones to take that leap. Before that point, it was just me solo, and they joined me for a comp at the start of the year, and both of them took out the divisions in the novice class. And then I think from that point there, a few more guys just became a little bit more interested and wanted to give it a crack, and the classes started. So I think Jen and Byron becoming those early adopters, followed by like Bev, Sam and Grace jumping in there, and then next thing we had Kate McClure jumping into a comp solo by herself, and it was pretty epic. And a lot of the people that are taking it on now and jumping in aren't the ones that you would have naturally thought it's like, oh yeah, they're going to be the ones that are going to want to do the strongman class or whatever. It's a really cool thing to see people like Lauren coming in and lifting stones every week, and like Loz will have a crack at anything, but you wouldn't have thought that she would be the person who's like, oh yeah, I'm going to totally lift the stones. It's like probably most people a little bit cautious, and then all the girls are way more into lifting the stones than I think the guys are.
Yeah, definitely.
The guys are like, this is too hard and too heavy, and the girls are like, give me a crack at that.
Yeah, no, it's been really cool. I think it's comes back to similar to what I said before with providing a space, I guess, where people can pursue that. And I think I definitely think here's a safe place for people to do that. And I think most girls that are into athletics or training would be intrigued by it, except I don't think they'd have the avenue to give it a crack. And I think providing that's just giving them a chance to say, hey, yeah, look, everyone else is doing it, why not give it a crack? And then that's where the exceeding their expectations comes from, where they start to actually put their hands on a few things they wouldn't have given themselves the opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
Whether it's stones or anything really.
Annaliese, what's been your highlights of the year in that side of things from the gym perspective? Obviously, you've taken home nearly every trophy possible, but so let's stick away from your own successes for this one, and let's from your perspective of like seeing the growth in that, what's been the highlights for you?
Definitely seeing all the girls just jump in on the class and just not let the stigma, I suppose, of lifting on a strongman deter them from doing it. Because a lot of the time when I tell people I'm like, oh, I do strongman, they just think of like the big guys with the massive beards, and they're like, oh, okay, all right. Like Jacob, they just think of
Jacob. Bald
Tattoos,
who would want to train with someone like that?
So it's been really exciting to see them just get into it and not like worry about what other people think, because I think there is still this stigma out there that girls should not lift weights and not be muscly or whatever. So that's always really exciting to see that in the girls, and just like Katie, McClure and Jen just jumping in and just being like, yep, I'm going to have a go, and not like having no reservations about it, just doing it. It's been really good.
Yeah, for sure. And let's get on to our number one. So this is personally, and I think Nathan would agree with me, the most exciting part of in what we do a lot, like for the actual gym, is then being the development of the team. Obviously, Bev, you've been with us for about 18 months now. But this year we brought Nick on board, and Nick walked in the doors as a client. And I think early days, it must have been within one of the first couple of sessions that he was here. I remember you coming to me and saying, "Oh, I think this guy could be a really good fit to join the team at one point."
Sure did. It was his second session.
So that was super cool to see. That went from it would have been about January, February this year when Nick first joined as a client, and then in start of July he started taking his first sessions, and I think it was a super cool thing to see, not only bringing Nick on board and the growth that was involved in that, but also seeing like Annaliese, you took a lot of the role of developing Nick up at the front end and training him up, and I think watching you do that was also a pretty special thing for me and Nate, because we turned around and we went, well, hold on, not only is like if we develop the team, but we've also developed a leader in you, and how you've taken on a lot of the responsibility in that around the gym and building a lot of the community around. So that's been a super special thing for me personally, and that's definitely my number one for this year, with all things included, is seeing the growth of the team around us, and even just leaders within the community, guys like Sam, Grace, Byron, and watching some of those guys actually help coach people in those classes and help out, not just sitting back and doing their own workout as like part of it, as they spend time helping others. So I think really the growth of the team, the growth of leaders within that team and within the tribe has been super special for me.
I agree. I completely agree. There's not too much to add to that, really. I think 2020. 2020 is looking very good. Very, very good. But I can't add
What are
too
some
much to that.
2020 predictions then? We've got a couple of minutes here that we'll still roll with.
Give me a pass with predictions in
Newstrength. What can people expect to see?
Competitions. So the plan is to hold a few more competitions and potentially make it a series. I don't know how much we're allowed to say.
We can say it.
Make it a series.
It's our podcast.
I'll actually just meant with what I can say from what you've told me. So have a series and like a point combination, so you can win the series individually, but then there'll be a complete series winner, I guess you'd say. Which is really exciting. Burgers and beers, we're looking at doing a few more things with that. It's just going to depend on a few variables, so without giving away too much, just trying to put a bit more effort into that. So we got the shirts this year, but it will also be more than that, which is exciting. And then just more like, I guess, like everything developing as it is, except just seeing that grow, except what you spoke about, like the team, like myself, you, Bev, Nick developing, and then also having the leaders within the gym. That's really, really cool. Just having those guys helping more and more people, because the more people we have trying to help everyone be better, the more effect we can have.
Yeah.
Like more people, more numbers is always going to hold more power with that goal. So the more people we can have like that, most certainly the better. So to see that grow, and who knows, like there's so many people that have started this year that I had no idea existed, and they're such an integral part of the crew now.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. It's really what could happen is limitless, except I think we're definitely on the right track, and to see everyone continue to do things that they didn't think they could, it'll be very fun to watch.
Yeah,
And you'll have a baby.
Yes, that's the other exciting / scary thing. But yeah, I think on top of that is we're doubling down with the content. We're going to be producing a lot more video content, a lot more YouTube, a lot more general social media stuff. The podcast, where my target at the moment is to be on the mic for 100 times in 2020. So 52 weekly episodes of interviews or team-based ones, and then 52 short block 5 to 10 minute educational pieces or motivational pieces each week. So that's going to be exciting, and I'll get more and more with you guys on there. Annaliese is going to be doubling down on learning how to do a lot of our YouTube stuff and a lot of the presence work that we do there. So we've kind of loosely talked about it, but now it's on the show, so you don't get a choice. Beth, what's your most exciting thing moving into 2020? Obviously, you're going to the Arnolds. We've spoken about that. What else is exciting for you for Newstrength specifically?
Newstrength. Well, yeah, getting to revamp our YouTube channel. I think try and build a bit more presence on there, because I think we have a lot of content that just needs to be
Not enough
out
ASMR.
there. Yeah. Oh yes, Newstrength ASMR coming to you. I'm gonna bang some barbells together, drop weights on the floor, and then some real heavy breathing. It'll be great.
I just imagine you running around with the laptop and the mic now, getting people
We'll make
off
it
the
easier
bike.
enough for you. No, that is exciting. That's very exciting. Do you have a particular angle you want to take the YouTube channel?
Well, I think we're thinking of some educational stuff, and then some more sort of our vlogging type thing, like filming our events. Hopefully we'll film solid beers, burgers, and deadlifts tonight. We've not got a full plan yet, but
Hopefully we'll get out the vlog from the last comp that we haven't put together yet, but we have all the content there.
yes,
Cool.
yeah.
Very cool. That's exciting.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. For the guys that have listened through 2019 and are listening now, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. We really hope that we're providing value for you there. And it's not just me talking to myself for a bit of fun. And then, if there's something that you guys want to see on the podcast or want to hear from us with, we'd love for some feedback, what you'd like to see more of, what information you want stuff on, or if there's somebody you'd love to see on the podcast as well, somebody that you know that would be really, really good to listen to and learn their story, then I'd love to know about them, and then we can reach out and hopefully make that happen. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up on that. Thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you in 2020 on the podcast.